I'm about to tell you a story that still sends shivers down my spine even after all these years. It's about Rita, dear Rita, who we all knew was a saint, and it all started with a rose, a single, impossible rose. Now, Rita was on her deathbed, you see. Winter's icy grip had settled over Cassia, the wind howling like a hungry wolf, the ground frozen solid. Everything was bare, gray, lifeless. And Rita, she was fading, her breath shallow, her eyes dimming. We knew it wouldn't be long. But even then, even on her deathbed, Rita's spirit shone brighter than any summer sun. She was always like that, a beacon of hope, a whisper of comfort in the darkest of nights. And then, she looked at me, her eyes filled with a strange, quiet intensity, and she said, "Bring me a rose from my parents' garden." A rose? In this weather? I remember looking at her, a mix of sorrow and disbelief swirling inside me. How could she ask such a thing? The garden was a frozen wasteland, the ground like iron. Not a single bud dared to peek through the frost. "Rita," I said, my voice barely a whisper, "it's winter, there are no roses." But she just smiled, a gentle, knowing smile that seemed to hold all the secrets of the universe. "Go," she said, her voice weak but firm. "Go, and you will find it." And so, I went. Not because I believed I would find a rose, mind you, but because I couldn't refuse her. It was like something pulled me, a force stronger than my own doubt. I walked through the biting wind, my footsteps crunching on the frozen ground, my heart heavy with grief. As I approached her parents' garden, I felt a wave of cold despair wash over me. It was just as I expected, barren, desolate, nothing but frozen earth and skeletal branches. But then, as I stepped closer, I saw it. A splash of color, a vibrant crimson against the gray, a single rose blooming in the snow, its petals unfurling like a whispered prayer. It was perfect, absolutely perfect, a miracle against all odds. I stood there, stunned, my breath catching in my throat. How could this be? How could such beauty exist in the midst of such desolation? I reached out, my fingers trembling, and gently plucked the rose, the scent of its delicate petals filling the air. It was as if time itself had stopped, as if the world had paused to witness this extraordinary moment. As I walked back to Rita's bedside, the rose clutched tightly in my hand, I felt a sense of awe, a profound understanding of the power of faith. It wasn't just a rose, you see, it was a symbol, a testament to the fact that even in the darkest of times, hope can bloom, miracles can happen. When I gave the rose to Rita, her face lit up with radiant joy. She held it close, inhaling its sweet fragrance, her eyes filled with tears of gratitude. It was as if the rose had brought her a piece of heaven, a reminder of the love that transcends all earthly limitations. And at that moment, I understood. I understood that miracles aren't just grand dramatic events. They're the small, quiet moments of grace that remind us that we're not alone, that we're surrounded by love and hope. They're the whispers of faith that guide us through the storms of life. You know, sometimes when I'm facing a difficult situation, when I feel lost and afraid, I think of that rose. I remember the impossible blooming in the dead of winter, and I know that anything is possible. I know that even when everything seems hopeless, there's always a chance for a miracle, always a chance for hope to bloom. And that's the message I want to share with you today. Don't give up on hope. Don't let doubt extinguish the flame of faith within you. Look for the roses in your life, the small miracles that remind you that you're loved, that you're never truly alone. And remember Rita and remember her rose, and let it remind you that miracles happen every day.